Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Thursday, June 11th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Ball State game in 87 days, the game against Michigan in 171 days. Our friends at Jeff Ruby's Columbus are proudly offering nationally acclaimed U.S.D.A. prime steaks, seafood and sushi, impeccable service, live entertainment, and an attention to detail that is simply unmatched. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. I'll also have a handy-dandy QR code for you on the screen. Just go ahead and scan that with your phone and start your journey to a delicious dinner at Jeff Ruby's Columbus. Going to welcome in Tony Gerdeman of BuckeyeHuddle.com for today's show. The Buckeyes had in a handful of really impressive offensive linemen this week. Wanted to talk about some of those guys, some names to know for the 2028 class. Tony, this is sort of our first look at a lot of these 2028 offensive linemen. They're in pretty good shape with the 2027 class. 2028, though, no linemen committed so far, only 2 commits overall. First guy we got to talk about, a guy from not exactly a pipeline state for Ohio State, at least until kind of recently, state of Alabama, top 100 offensive lineman Samuel Bailey.
Yeah, this was a guy that he was not one of the names that I was aware of to watch that was going to be there. But as you're watching a couple of names that we'll talk about, this guy kept showing up and you're like, well, but who is this guy? And then finally got a name later on, but he looks very well put together, moves well, listed at 6'5", 6'6", 300 pounds, and doesn't look like he needs to add or drop, even though he'll get bigger. Like there's not a lot of flaws when you just look at him. And then talking with him afterwards, things are very, very early with him. The fact that you've got a kid from Alabama up here in the first place was a little bit of a coup, I think, and he said he had a great time and was learning something on every rep and taking that back with him. So it's still very early. He mentioned some leaders or teams that he's interested in from the Southeastern Conference. Ohio State, we'll see if they can get into the mix, but I mean, it's never a bad sign when they're up here for camp season.
For sure, yeah. You're making that trip on your own dime. It is kind of a haul, and so if you're making that trip, there's probably at least some genuine interest there. We will let you hear the whole interview with Samuel Bailey after this show. We'll have it just sort of in the same file. You'll get to hear that afterwards. You'll also get to hear from Anthony Blalock after this episode. He's a 2028 4-star out of Youngstown, a little closer to home. He was another guy who, he was someone we knew, and you looked at him and went, yep, that is someone who is a potential Ohio State target for sure. He is, big, moves very well, takes to coaching very well as well. And talking to him afterwards, he really, I think, enjoyed working with Tyler Bowen and some of the other offensive line coaches during sort of getting a sense for what that's going to be like during practices to really see, what life might be like if you were playing for these guys in a few years. He said this was his first camp that he did so far this month, his first visit as well. Said he has upcoming visits to LSU, Tennessee, Texas Tech, and Florida. Those are the ones that he listed. So those are, again, very early in the process, nothing imminent, I don't think there, but certainly a name, probably the top in-state offensive lineman for sure for 2028, Anthony Blalock. Had a visitor from southern New Jersey, right across the river, Camden, New Jersey, right across the river from Philly. Eytan D'Oleo, he was a 2028 4-star. What did you see out of him?
Big kid, big lower base, and powerful. And yeah, that was another guy that I didn't know his name going in. And you're like, well, okay, but who's that guy? And so didn't get to talk to him afterwards, but they were several times. Tyler Bowen's telling me, great rep, good job. And he's a pretty physical guy. So I think they liked what they saw from him, and he moved well. Like I said, he looks like a strong kid.
Next up, Ty Davis-Winn. This is one that we did have on our list beforehand, and a name that you probably have heard if you've been paying attention. He's been, pay attention to recruiting coverage. He has been sort of around the Ohio State orbit a little bit, out of Eastern Pennsylvania, another 2028 4-star. He was another guy who you looked and went, yep, that is someone who's going to play offensive line at a pretty high level at the college level.
Yeah, and there's a lot that you can still do with him because he's listed at 6'7" or so, 255 pounds, and you can tell the frame is going to have to get bigger, but also the shoulders I think are there to handle it. But yeah, strength is going to be an issue in terms of getting him ready, but he's entering his junior year when camp gets going for them. So a lot to like there, but somebody that's going to have to get bigger, and of course, obviously, he will. But it's always interesting where you've got like the Nicholas Petit Freres, they have to work their way up to being 295 pounds, as opposed to the guys who already are, and then they still have to also be reshaped when they get to college. Whether that 320 is good or bad, I think coaches would rather see you come in at 290 and then give you the 320 or the 310 rather than necessarily you come in with the 310 and they've got to take you down to 290 just to get you back up to 310.
It's funny you mentioned Nick Petit Frere, because that was exactly the comp that I was thinking of, because I remember seeing him at camp way back when and thinking like, well, if this kid can ever grow, he really could grow into something. And he obviously did and turned into a very good player at the college level. So yeah, plenty of work there to do, but obviously you're an offensive lineman. You are going to spend a year or two before you're ready to get on the field at the college level, regardless of who you are. So yeah, that is not an insurmountable obstacle by any means. Last name I wanted to talk about was Collin Burris. He is a 2028 as well. He's out of Marysville. He is probably, he's probably a little bit lower on the board, at least for now. Still obviously quite a ways to go. But I looked at him and I thought that is someone who they could absolutely bring into the class with sort of the philosophy they've had in recruiting and in-state recruiting on the offensive line. He looks a lot like the caliber of prospect they have been bringing in the last couple of cycles.
Yeah, talking with somebody, they were just discussing looking for a unique trait from each of these guys, and I think maybe they're still looking for that from Collin. But to me, there's every opportunity for him to end up playing on the interior wherever he goes. But also, the effort was definitely there today. He was working. It's always interesting when you look at these Ohio kids, and one of the questions you have to ask is, do you want to let them go and then have to play against them, or see somebody else succeeding with them? And now in the era of the NIL that it is, I think in the era that the rosters are in now, you can go ahead and keep those guys or try to keep those guys in state and see how things work out and go from there. Or, of course, you can also let them leave, and if they turn out to be really, really good, then you can try to bring them back. But he was one of the guys we were watching today, and no reason to be disappointed in what we saw.
Yeah, definitely. And you've still got 2 years of high school left for all of these guys. These are all 2028 guys, so they are halfway through their high school career. Still a long way to go till you get to signing day for any of them. And five names worth knowing for sure, and there will be more guys coming in next week as well. Probably have a whole separate offensive line show next week, because that's going to be it was lots of defensive linemen earlier in the week. Pretty good crop of offensive linemen this time, and so we'll have another camp show coming for you coming up tomorrow. Before I let you go, I want to remind you of two things. One is that you're going to, after the show, hear interviews. The first one's going to be with Samuel Bailey, who is that top 100 lineman out of Alabama. The second one is with Anthony Blalock. He is the 4-star out of Youngstown. And those are they're kind of quick interviews, just a few minutes, just to get a chance to let you hear from these guys. If you're watching on YouTube, you get a chance to see them a little bit as well. And also, if you're just listening, we are dropping some video of these guys running drills, just so you can, again, sort of see what we're talking about, see start to get to know these names, know these faces as we sort of head into the 2027, wrapping up the 2027 recruiting cycle and heading into the 2028 recruiting cycle. So I will drop time codes for both of those interviews in the notes on YouTube, or the description on YouTube, and as well as your podcast platform of choice. So you can just find those interviews as well. And thanks again to our friends at Jeff Ruby's at Columbus, the award-winning upscale steakhouse in downtown Columbus, named one of the top 50 steakhouses in America by Food Network. Just go to jeffruby.com/Columbus to check out the menu and make a reservation today. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Workout with Coach Bowen and some other good offensive linemen here at camp.
It was amazing. It's just crazy to me, how far, just in a year, me just playing football, going into my second year now, how much I've improved, and then seeing how much, work, it is with the coaches, just seeing what them teaching me a few things just help improve my game.
What specifically did you learn today that you think you're going to take into your upcoming season?
Reach blocking.
Where do you say Ohio State kind of sits in your recruitment right now?
They said very highly, but I'm in love with air school right now. I'm just trying to see, just feed through all of it and just weigh my options.
Sure. Do you have any visits coming up for either schools, or do you have a game day visit planned to Ohio State this fall?
My other visits for this summer is Clemson, South Carolina, and Florida.
Can you state your name and spell it for us, by the way, so we have it right?
Samuel Bailey, Samuel.
Thank you.
How difficult is it to keep falling in love with schools? Or is that a bad thing, a good thing for you?
You said what?
When you're falling in love with schools that you're seeing every time, is that difficult to deal with, or?
No, I feel like it's just the process. Because at the end of the day, I gotta see who really cares. Because everybody can tell you you're good, but who's gonna tell you what you need to work on? That's what matters.
And what did Coach Bowen tell you to work on today?
It was this one drill where it was pivoting and then running. The first time I didn't do good, but then the second time when he told me what to fix, it's I understood it. Mm-hmm. So just little stuff like that.
What did it mean to you to get an Ohio State offer when you got picked up?
It just felt amazing, just seeing what especially after the draft, what he can do, it's crazy.
Appreciate you, man.
It was great. It would show me what my future gonna be like, and the drills he showed me, I'm definitely be practicing them.
In terms of maybe things that you learn and things you can take back to school, what did you kind of learn, and what things did you kind of take away?
As an old lineman, you gotta use your hips. He definitely taught us that. You gotta punch, and some pass pro drills I'm gonna take back to my old line so we can train it.
When you talk about Tyler Bowen as a recruiter, as a coach, what makes him unique? What makes him stand out?
He really cares.
What stands out about this place in terms of offensive line?
Coach Bowen talked to me about that Ohio State has they're the top. They have to have a winning season every season. If they don't, then it's a failure. So that's what it means to be a lineman, for sure.
That pressure can get to people, right? It's not for everybody. How do you feel like you would handle something like that?
You would just have to deal with the pressure. But my friends, my parents will help me with the pressure.
Where else have you camped so far this month, and where are you planning to go the rest of the month?
This is the first camp I've been to. Tomorrow I'm pretty sure I'm going to LSU. Going to Tennessee, Texas Tech, Florida. I'm pretty sure that's it.
What are you looking for when you go visit a place for the first time?
Physicality, hospitality, just being a bond, having energy, just winning. I want to win. I hate losing. So,
How far is this away from home for you?
2 hours. 2 hours for 30 minutes.
When you talk about being a kid that's so close to campus, what does maybe the opportunity of being a Buckeye mean to you as a kid so close to here?
It means a lot. My grandfather grew up a Buckeye. My parents love it. It means a lot. It's right next to home. For sure.
Did you grow up a Buckeye fan watching Ohio State?
No, I never grew up a fan of college.
Yeah.
College football, to be honest. So.
You pro guy then? You a pro guy then in terms of watching watching ball?
Yes, sir.
What's your team? Or what linemen do you watch in the league that you try to model yourself after?
Will Campbell, Trent Williams, Bland Johnson. That's it. Well, Paris Johnson, of course. That's it right now.
What are the biggest things you like just about Ohio State, just when you're here going through a workout with Coach Bowen?
He really cares. He cares about the details for sure. You got to finish every rep 100%.
What do you feel like are the biggest things you learned today?
Hip mobility, punching, staying low, that type of stuff.
What kind of advantage do you think it is in this kind of visit where you get to work out with Coach Bowen and kind of see what it would be like to be coached by him?
It's a big advantage, absolutely. Take it back to my old line, do some drills. We could be the top old line around here.
Thank you.